12 years in which I learned a language that confused me more than helped me. 12 years in which I was so confused by the different theories about my existence. 12 years in which I have been obligated to present myself at fixed hours on that institution, or to have a certain uniform. 12 years in an organization that pushed me away from mathematics, physics, biology or chemistry. 12 years in which I didn't receive any explanation for what I learn, why I learn, or why I should respect the educational system rules. 12 years that I personally consider as being lost and immoral. 12 years in which I could learn so much. Then, another 3 years of college, who just preparing me for a job. So, where is the education? Maybe the country where I was born was to blame. But then, you can think of the years you spent at school, and the information withheld, then report that to reality. Draw your conclusions. After you draw your conclusions, think if you accept taking part in such a program, 12, 15 years, only to learn, without receiving any degree or any gratitude at the end. Now, let's look at how children learn, and how schools might look into a system focused on progress and freedom of human beings.
The children enthusiastically got after me to say, now what do you want us to do? I gave them 6 GCSE questions. The first group, the best one, solved everything in 20 minutes. The worst, in 45. They used everything that they knew. News groups, Google, Wikipedia, Ask Jeeves, etc. The teachers said, is this deep learning? I said, well, let's try it. I'll come back after 2 months. We'll give them a paper test, no computers, no talking to each other, etc. The average score when I'd done it with the computers and the groups was 76%. When I did the experiment, when I did the test after 2 months, the score was 76%. There was photographic recall. I mean, if there's stuff on Google, why would you need to stuff it into your head? I basically embedded a computer into a wall of a slum in New Delhi. The children barely went to school, they didn't know any English, they'd never seen a computer before, and they didn't know what the internet was. I repeated this all over India and then through a large part of the world, and noticed that children will learn to do what they want to learn to do. So at the end of it, we concluded that groups of children can learn to use computers and the internet on their own, irrespective of who or where they were. I got an interesting phone call once from Colombo, from the late Arthur C. Clarke, who said, I want to see what's going on. And he couldn't travel, so I went over there. He said 2 interesting things. A teacher that can be replaced by a machine should be. The second thing he said was that if children have interest, then education happens. And I was doing that in the field, so every time I would watch it and think of him.
Possible. And they can undoubtedly help people, because the children very quickly learn to navigate the web and find things which interest them. And when you've got interest, then you have education.
I think we've just stumbled across a self-organizing system. A self-organizing system is one where a structure appears without explicit intervention from the outside. Self-organizing systems also always show emergence, which is that the system starts to do things which it was never designed for, which is why you react the way you do, because it looks impossible. I think I can make a guess now. Education is a self-organizing system where learning is an emergent phenomenon.
Now that we know that children learn and organize themselves better through curiosity, you should only provide information and access to them. It's simple. The democratic schools. Those schools just provide the information and guide the child if it's necessary. Even if the presence is not mandatory, kids come here from pleasure and curiosity, and help each other, even exchange knowledge with teachers, and teachers could learn from them. Everybody helps each other.
Conventional schools are based on the principle that children don't want to learn. If you start from the assumption that children want to learn, then your whole approach is completely different.
Im Mittelpunkt steht das Vertrauen der Schule in jeden Schüler, die Fähigkeit zu haben, sich selbst zu bilden.
Lessons are totally not mandatory.
The freedom to choose what you learn and when you learn it teaches you the value of knowledge and the value of education.
The school meeting decides what the rules are going to be, and those rules apply to every person at school.
Each one has one vote, and since there's more students and staff, that means that mostly the students really get to decide.
Learning is like discovering new things. It's an adventure.
I didn't want to teach my kid how to read, so I used to read to him at night and close the book at the most interesting part. He said, "What happened then, Daddy?" I said, "Look, if you learn to read, you can find out. I'm too tired to read. I'll read you tomorrow." So he had a need to want to learn to read. Don't teach children how to read. Don't teach them mathematics. Give them a reason to want it. Because everybody doesn't know what that means. In school, they're working ass backwards.
A system like that will create curious, intelligent, and inventive individuals, something different from a worker. So, those systems couldn't help you in the monetary system. Then, you have to ask yourself, why is that? An individual of a human species, the dominant intelligent species on planet Earth, should learn how he and the environment works to try to understand what is happening around him. This, through the best and demonstrable information possible. It's a mockery to use 12, 15, or even more years of a human being's life, that is around 70, 80 years, to prepare him to become a worker, or to take into account the culture when learning a language of communication. It is against evolution, such an educational system, and just makes the human species to go forward. Not in a straight line, but in ellipses.